Okay. I guess what I'm hearing, and I don't mean to over-characterize what your response, Public Works Director and Dewey, but the 2011 probably isn't the year we're going to be looking at. I mean, it sounds like the council's saying, let's let our task force do its job. Let's, we've certainly got a lot of dust to settle on just the new fare structure that goes in pretty quick here.
Yeah.
And seeing how that affects ridership, which I'm anticipating ridership's gonna go down. And then, this long-term replacement thing. I just feel, I guess I have a little nagging voice in the back of my head all the time that just says, are we being responsible by allowing this thing to run 24/7? And watching these costs build up every year of fixing this thing, and more dry dock. We had this unexpected dry dock this last year in the summer that really affected the tourism on Lummi Island. We've got a responsibility somehow to address this, and I guess I'm wondering, when do we address this? When do we get on it? It's a tough economy to do it. We do have this one, I guess, relatively small, but nonetheless important ace in the hole of this ferry taxing district, as I've thought of it, just being on Lummi Island, that we could use, and that I think public sentiment is pretty much for doing that. But to make up that gap, to get something going, we just don't know where that money would be.
Raise taxes.
And I don't know, we can do that in 2011. Councilmember Knudsen?
Well, if you're talking about creating a taxing district to pay for the ferry, the top of my list would be maybe the casinos in Whatcom County could pay for this. Is there a way we could put a gaming tax on any of the casinos located in Whatcom County to help pay for the ferry?
No.
No, this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't believe we.
The governor took care of that.
Tax casinos. I don't think they pay property tax.
I don't know about that, I just know they don't pay any tax on the gambling.
Okay, anything else on rebuilding a new ferry?
Well, Sam, I'm opposed to the council. I mean, I've heard from you, but I oppose to the council. Do you want the administration to probably lay out a plan over the next 12 months as to how to get to a point where we replace the boat? I mean, we're going to be finishing up hopefully the Lummi Nation negotiations. You're going to be rebuilding the fare structure, which might include some of these items. And we may have to have some kind of public meetings to talk to the Lummi residents about both fees and replacement ferries. And maybe it's going to take some time to do that. And if that council's interested in that, then we're going to have to deploy some of our own staff resources to start to address this in a reasonable period of time. Is that, I guess I pose that to the entire council.
Responses to that, Councilmember Knudsen, Councilmember Mann.
Well, it seems like both us and the state, albeit the governor, are having the same issues financing a ferry. Is there any way we can work in coordination with her and her staff and maybe solve our problems and solve her problems at the same time, i.e. maybe a gaming tax on all the tribal casinos? But that's probably not gonna happen, but is there any options to maybe get the state involved and help us to finance this operation?
I think it's pretty limited, and maybe Frank has an idea, but I personally think they're interested in probably trying to respond to their own very significant problems, and they would be. I can't imagine why they would want us to help us. Fix it yourself.
Yeah.
But Frank, maybe yes.
I would just echo your focus on limited. Yeah, I'm not sure what they would ever see us bringing anything to the table
Yeah,
that would help. It would just,
Why would they
I'd make it worse.
And invoice
And so,
the bill.
but yeah, but Julie's right. They have almost exactly the same problem we have, only of course magnified several times over. I mean, they have a system that is drawing down to dangerous levels their own ability to perform transportation work across the state. And so they're dealing with the same problem, just a bigger scale. And I'm not sure they would like to add anything to that scale by having us involved there.
They wouldn't.
We don't make any connections to any state roadways or anything like that. And so we're pretty much our own deal at this point. However, it never hurts to ask, and so I may make some probes as soon as I know who it is that's gonna be running that show, if it even gets off the ground. At this
Well-
point, it's just a proposal, it's being panned by everybody, so.
Our deficit probably looks fairly good compared to their deficit. Maybe they're willing to add it to their deficit and just take over the operations of it.
That doesn't make
Well,
sense.
again, I'd say, why would they do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
If you were sitting on that panel or that board, how would you receive
Yeah.
that proposal? I mean,